What is going on, guys? I am LaserBolt and welcome to another Gotham Knights video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most anticipated, if not the most anticipated things right now in Gotham Knights, and that is the Heroic Assault mode. As you guys know, there's a 4-player co-op mode that's going to be releasing November the 29th, so we're just a couple, 2 weeks away from the release of this particular mode. I think the question everybody has is, what is the mode about? What's going to happen within the mode? Today, we're going to be talking about everything I personally could give you information about, what I feel the mode's going to be, and what I think the mode needs to have in order to be successful and to get the player base not only to be incremented, but to get a lot of people who probably went and played another game to play the Heroic Assault mode. So if all this sounds interesting, guys, a like would be greatly appreciated. And let's dive in and talk about the Heroic Assault. So what do we exactly know 100% about the Heroic Assault mode? Number one, that it's going to be free to play for anyone that went ahead and purchased the game. Number two, we know it's a 4-player co-op mission. And number three, we know that it has a total of 30 different levels that you're going to be able to climb in order to be able to complete it. That is what we know. Now, with that being said, let's talk about what I personally feel the Heroic Assault mode is going to have and what you could probably get your mind already set that you could probably expect when it comes out. Now, the reason why I'm able to speculate after playing an extensive amount of games, guys, that have similar modes, I kind of want to narrow down a specific game that I feel this mode is going to be playing very similar to, and that is the Division 2, the Summit. Now, for any of you guys who played the Division 2, you kind of already have an idea, but if you've never played the Division 2, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of exactly what the Summit mode was in Division 2 and why I believe this is going to be almost identical to what we could expect of the Heroic Assault. So in the Division 2, there was this mode called the Summit. As opposed to 30 levels, this one actually had a total of 100 levels. Of course, on this one, we're getting 30. And the way that it worked right there, guys, is that within the mode, all the factions were involved. And I expect the same thing to happen within the Heroic Assault. Of course, we have the League of Shadows, the Freaks, the Mobs. I expect every single guy's factions to be involved in the mode as well. And I believe these are going to be appearing depending on the level we get. Now, within the Summit in the Division 2, the environment changed as you progressed through the floors. So, for example, when you went to floor 1, you encountered one faction. When you went to floor 2, you encountered another faction. And as you progressed, the factions started to mix and intertwine. And, of course, it got harder and more difficult. Another thing that we found out when playing the Summit is that as you progressed through the different floors, there were certain floors that had certain objectives. Of course, I expect levels to also have objectives in the Heroic Assaults. And we could kind of figure out exactly what type of objectives this could be. It could be something like, for example, rescue a hostage. It could be something to steal a cryogen. That's why I believe certain builds are going to be very important in this particular mode, due to the fact that I feel like there's going to be certain levels that are going to require us to be very stealthy. Like, for example, avoid camera detection, avoid turret detection. And that's why I feel like certain characters might be playing a huge role. And I almost feel like if this is not part of the Heroic Assault, it's going to be a detriment to the actual mode itself, due to the fact that there are certain characters that lean heavily when it comes to playing stealthy or being able to hack items. And I think this needs to be part of the Heroic Assault to create a big amount of synergy when it comes to playing with multiple characters or different characters. Now, another interesting thing that we learned from the Summit, and this could actually change within the Heroic Assault, basically in the Summit in the Division, when you hit the 10th floor of every building, you encounter a thing called a Stronghold. Now, I don't know if they're going to do this when it comes to the Heroic Assault, because this could be done divided by, every 5th floor, since it's less floors, or every 10th floor where there is a Stronghold. Now, the Stronghold consists of having a boss in each individual section. So, for example, in this case, let's take Heroic Assault. Let's say every 10th floor has a boss. So we have, of course, there's a lot of speculations of what bosses we could have, but let's say Two-Face is in floor 10. We have Starro in floor 20, and then we have a final boss in floor 30. This is actually pretty good because these bosses are going to be the main thing we want to farm, because in the Division 2, these bosses actually dropped loot equivalent to that specific Stronghold. So these bosses were able to be farmed to get specific loot drops. Now, this is going to be very interesting because, as you guys know already, there has been a lot of data mine that has happened in the game, that we know there are certain items currently right now in the game that are not being able to be obtained via drops. that might be part of the heroic assault, and these are assets are in the game. Now, if these are the assets that are going to be dropping, that's going to be awesome. Now, if there's additional assets, like for example, colorways, different suits, different weapons, different armor, different stuff that we don't have in the game, this is definitely something that's going to get the community extremely excited. Now, one other thing that they added in the summit, and this part I don't know if it's going to be part of the heroic assault, and that is the XP amount you earn for completing that floor. So, for example, let's say you're on floor 10 and you complete it, the XP amount is incremented for that particular 10th floor. So, let's say floor 1 gets you 1,000 XP for, and so on until you get to floor 9. Once you get to floor 10, since it's considered a stronghold or a boss arena, the XP is incremented. So instead of getting 1,000, you would get 2,000. As right now in the game, there really isn't no incentive to get extra XP due to the fact that everybody's at very high level. But this would probably be a very good way to level up if it was the case. Now let's talk about a little bit about what I believe the structure is going to happen in the game. And this is going to be taking a lot of context from the division as well. Okay, so basically when you start the heroic start, you're going to start in level 1, and you're going to play level 1, complete level 1. Once you complete level 1, you move on to level number 2, and so forth and so forth. Like I said, every 10th floor should theoretically have a boss encounter, and will unlock a thing called rally points. At least in the division, that's what they were called. Now, rally points are very interesting because rally points give you the option to be able to quit the game and come back and play the game again. So let's say you're playing the game and you go from floor 1 all the way to 10. You hit that 10th floor, you activate a rally point, you want to go to have lunch, you want to go have dinner, you come back to the game, that rally point is already activated in your account, and you just automatically go to level, since you completed level 10, you'll be automatically put in level 11 without having to complete level, floor 1 through 10 all over again. I think this is something that I'm pretty sure it's in the game, and if it's not, if you're listening, WB, make sure you guys pay close attention. Now, one thing that was in the summit that I feel needs to be also in the heroic assault are the difficulty levels. Now, for example, in the division, they had normal, hard, challenging, heroic, and legendary. Now, these were different levels or difficulty that you were able to play just the same thing all over again. So if you wanted to play it on normal just to familiarize yourself with the game mode, you were able to play it on normal, but you were able to crank the difficulty. So you were able to go to hard, challenging, heroic, and legendary. And of course, the more difficult you make it, the more challenging it becomes. But the incentive to actually being able to increase that was being the ability that if you went all the way to legendary, there was a different pool of gear that you were able to obtain only within that difficulty level. Now, I think this is definitely something that needs to be in the game. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree, because I think this would be a very good way to introduce exotics in the game. Yes, guys, imagine having an exotic suit or an exotic melee weapon or an exotic ranged weapon and being able to show it off within the belfry, or being able to show it off with your friends and be like, yeah, I completed the heroic assault in legendary, and that's why I unlocked this awesome weapon or this awesome colorway due to the fact that I did the whole 30 floors in the highest difficulty. Now, another thing that I kind of want to talk about, guys, is what happens when you die. So as you guys know, this is a 4-player co-op mission, and I don't know if this is going to be very similar to where you have a certain amount of lives. So let's say you have a total of 5 lives, right? And you lose, each player dies 5 times. Then you automatically wipe, or if it's going to be like where if everybody goes down, then it's an automatic wipe. But at least that's the way it is. So let's say you're in floor 4, you're struggling, you're having a hard time, Batgirl goes down, Nightwing goes down, Robin goes down, Red Hood goes down, and all of you guys automatically wipe. That is automatically going to send you back to the floor that you didn't complete. So let's say you were on floor 3, it's going to automatically push you to floor 2. And then you have to go to floor 2 and then complete a floor 3. So I don't know if it's going to work that way where all 4 needs to wipe in order to reset the level, or if it's going to be based on you having a certain amount of lives. So if you lose all 5 lives, you automatically complete wipe and get sent back to the previous level. So that part I don't know, but which one would you prefer? Would you rather have a certain amount of lives, or would you rather be where it's all 4 of you guys wipe, it's automatically you guys get sent to the previous, the previous floor you were in? Now, one thing I really wish that they included in this particular mode is a thing called target loot. The summit actually had that, which was target loot was assigned based on the pretty much the level or the floor that you were going to be playing. You were able to determine that this loot drops from this level or from this particular boss, and I know if I go and complete that boss, I could get a chance to get that specific target loot. I think that's something that should be implemented in the game, and I think multiple things need to be implemented as well. Another thing that I definitely gotta give a big kudos to the Division and actually implementing in the summit were being able to add chests within the game. So not only did they give you a replay value of being able to kill the bosses, completing the floors, but there were also hidden chests that were found within the actual floors themselves. Now, these chests awarded you certain pieces of an exotic gear, and you were able to gather each individual piece and make the exotic gear. So, for example, let's say in our case that we're playing the Heroic Assault, let's say we need to build a weapon, right? The weapon has 3 different parts. There's a total of, let's say, 3 chests. Every 10th floor has a chest. You open that chest, you get 1 piece of the part for your weapon. You open the second chest, you get another piece. Now, this is going to be random. This is pure RNG. You don't know if you're going to get the part. So every single time you do it or you play the floor, you're going to be able to get a chance to actually get this one. Now, when you get all 3 of them, you build this weapon, and it is considered an exotic exclusive weapon, and it gives you a ton of replayability. I think this is definitely something that should be included. I doubt that it's going to be included, but definitely, guys, if you guys do me the favor, share this video with WB, tag them on Twitter, tag them on YouTube, so they can listen to this video and take some notes. Now, the biggest and most important thing I think this mode needs is to have character synergy. And it's going to be extremely important because I'm pretty sure that in this one, you could go in with 4 Batgirls or with 4 Nightwings. I think that's an awesome option, being able to give you that ability of being able to play with any character you want. But I think when it comes to team synergy, it's extremely important because that allows people who probably are just, fixated on one specific character to kind of go explore another character and see how it feels to play with that character. So, for example, in the Division, you had to have a certain amount of DPS characters to be able to progress and do it really fast. You had to have someone that was kind of like a tank and someone that had, always had health options available. I think that's going to be very important because if you could theoretically do the whole complete structure of the Heroic Assault with all 4 characters being the same, I think it's a good thing, but I think it also hurts overall the team comp and the team chemistry when it comes to playing. I feel the other most important thing, guys, is making sure you have a reason to play. And the only way you create that reason to play is giving us a ton of loot and a ton of things to actually farm for and making the mode very difficult, very hard. We need the mode to be difficult because that's going to allow us to not only better our builds, but also farm gear that we need to get. And of course, guys, once again, the loot is extremely important. And please, please, please give us something to actually want to achieve. An exotic weapon, an exotic armor, an exotic gear is definitely a must for this mode. Now, I hope this kind of gives you a better idea of what you could probably expect out of the Heroic Assault mode. If you guys think that everything I said should be included, let me know in the comment section down below. If there's something else that I probably didn't mention that you think should be included as well, also let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to share this video. Let's make sure we get the word out. Hopefully we're able to still change things if they haven't been added, which I kind of doubt, but I mean, it'd be very interesting if it does get added in the near future. Let me know, guys, what do you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope you guys are enjoying our content here at the channel. You are doing the huge favor, guys. Drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all your notifications so you guys won't miss when our videos go live. Don't forget, guys, if you need help with the Heroic Assault, do consider becoming part of the Bull Nation by hitting the join button down below. We will be streaming and helping you guys achieve that level 30 floor. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.